All right, so orientation agenda. I have our mission statement and mission pillars, goal setting, student portal login, a tutorial, technology requirements, course schedule registration, attendance. We're going to talk about course expectations, identifying a study space, student resources and support, staff directory, online tutoring, study partners, and then we'll have an open forum. We should be getting out of here around 7 o'clock, but of course, if you have to leave early, it's okay. We'll be sending this again to the PowerPoint and presentation to you tomorrow morning. But we'll go ahead and get started. Just a couple notes here about CIU, so our mission and vision and mission statement. And we'll look at that. And then also our CIU mission pillars were personal, accessible, and entrepreneurial spirit are our mission pillars. We're supporting and encouraging, global and affordable, and aspirational. So the first question I ask all of you is simply this: what is motivating you to earn your degree at CIU? I'm going to open up the microphones. I know some of you may have some background noise, so my apologies. I have to pause. I have to mute you, but I want to give everyone the opportunity to speak before we get started with our tutorial. But just a note here: would anybody like to share more about themselves and what your motivations are at earning your degree here at CIU? And you can use the chat box if you like. I know many of you are using the chat box. You can briefly talk, and this will be important as you begin your first course here at CIU. Anyone like to share? Any comments or questions before we get started? All right, well, think about that question. I don't want to pause too much as well, but want to make sure we'll have more questions coming up in our orientation. This is part of your experience. We want to ensure that to communicate together and learn about ourselves as we earn our degrees, and best help you, the student, as what instructor. So think about that question as we continue. That actually becomes a component and a theme in your first course, and just as you earn your degree. So a couple of things I want to discuss. Many of you may be first-time online learners. So what I want to kind of show is just a student portal login. And so this is the login screen. So if you've been enrolled here at CIU, this is the screen you'll be seeing when you start here, and have your credentials. You receive your credentials when you officially are enrolled. So we've either spoken to myself and our other advisor, Tina, and we've emailed those to you. So some of you may already have your login credentials and may have already logged into the student portal with the username and password. So it's really simple. It's actually, username is just a combination of your last name and your first initial. And the password you receive is temporary, and then you can make your own. If you forget your password, don't worry. You can select forgot your password and you get the login screen and have that emailed to you, email the help desk, or contact the advisor for a password reset. So the first thing I want to start off the orientation today is a tutorial. So many of our students, before we discuss more about our policies and more about CIU, the main thing everyone wants to know, especially as an undergraduate, is about the virtual classroom. So please, if you have any questions about what I'm reviewing, use the chat box. And furthermore, to speak up. I know many of you for a couple of you maybe on mute or don't have your microphone, which is perfectly fine. But if you want to just go ahead and ask a question, please do so as I continue with the tutorial, which is probably the biggest part of our orientation. So I'm going to minimize my screen here, and I'm going to show you what the student portal looks like. So I went to my Internet Explorer browser, and I logged in the student portal. So many of you have probably seen this, but I want to show you first, for those who have not seen it, how you would log in. Oh, Angelica actually typed in a question, actually a response to the question. Angelica says, I want better for myself for the way I grow up. The way I grew up isn't how I want my future to be. I want to have a secure life with an education that opens a lot of doors for me. Excellent. That's excellent, Angelica. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and, improving your life for from where it started is really a key component to success. Everybody wants to improve themselves at where they started, and everybody has the opportunity to do so. But you've taken the chance. You have the opportunity to do so here at CIU. Excellent. And if anybody would like to share as we continue, please go ahead, and I'll actually speak of those live as we continue. So this is a student portal, and the home screen for the student portal, a demo version of that. So how would you get there? Now, you receive an email of the links, but one important link you want to save is you go to caluniversity.edu, the website you applied at, and you go to students, and you have a variety of different links here that you can utilize, beginning with your classes and the student portal. See here, it's exactly the screen that you saw earlier. That's where you would log in. I would suggest that you bookmark, save that tab, because you're using it a lot. So this screen right here is where you can actually already access as an enrolled student. This is your administrative website, and what it entails is also these screens to the left: academics, profile, finances, financial aid, forms, and the Learn Center as well. So under academics, you have your schedule. Your profile, you can change your password, change your information. Finances, you can review your payment information and finance information. So if you ever make a payment, review your billing, you want to go to finances. There's a financial aid tab, a form tab, and the Learn Center tab. So as you can see here, this is not where you go to class. This is not where you go to discussion question or go to the Learn Center. Excuse me, not go to the Learn Center. Complete an assignment or actually access the Learn Center directly. But this is more of your academic record, administrative information that's part of your profile. So very, very important information. I think most important is that under academics, your grades that reflect your transcript will also be under academics. Are there any questions so far regarding the student portal?
So yeah, I got a question, Eddie.
Sure.
Should we already have access to this right now?
Yes,
or would this not be?
Yes, if you are an enrolled student, so you've been notified, like from the registrar or from myself and your advisor Tina, then you have access to this. If you're in the process of enrolling, whether it be you're working with your enrollment advisor or financial aid department, that's fine. But this becomes accessible once you're officially enrolled and get the email and the phone call that your account's been created.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem. So that, yeah, just a note on that. Some of you probably are finalizing many items, probably maybe enroll tomorrow or Friday. Once the class starts on Monday, which is fine. Many of you here already working on that. But once the light switches and you're officially accepted and enrolled, then you get access to information within 24 hours. Okay. So one thing I did mention was the Learn Center. So I showed you earlier under My Classes that you can access the Learn Center. We can also access it in the portal. You select Go to Learn Center, and says go, and then this message pops up here. Just a note for many of you, maybe not familiar with pop-up blockers, you want to add caluniversity.edu domain as a trusted site. So we're all, every browser is different. I'm using Internet Explorer. Either you add it as an approved website or simply your pop-up blockers. But just remember and ensure to, if you're using it for the first time, if you keep clicking Learn Center and you're accessing it from here, it will not launch until allow it to with a pop-up blocker disabled and so forth. It may not even happen on your browser. But that is a student portal. I want to now show the Learn Center directly. So let's say I go to the Learn Center and it opens in a separate window. It's going to look like this. I'm sorry, is there a question? Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, so what you're seeing here is actually, my view of the Learn Center and your view as a student. It'll look different as time goes on, of course, but typically this is the home screen you'll be most familiar with. So I'm going to take some time to kind of scroll down and show you what that looks like. So you can see as I scroll down, you have university news like tutor.com, one of our resources. actually the announcements of Tina, our new advisor. And there'll be, of course, additional news and information as time goes on as a student. To the right of your screen, like for example, right now, the end of course survey announced to students, a link to our catalog and micro courses, which are actually free courses to CIU students you can review and launch as well. This is what a home screen looks like for the Learn Center. One little note, this was a little different on my end, but on your end, it'll ask you this question: what time is it? And the official time zone for CIU is Pacific time zone because we're in California. I believe many of you are also on a Pacific time zone. But if you're traveling and so forth, please plan accordingly because, for example, if the assignment says it's due Sunday at 12 a.m. Pacific time or midnight, that means 12 a.m. here. If you're, of course, on the parts of the country, that could mean 3 a.m. if you're like in New York, or 2 o'clock if you're like in Chicago. Just a couple of examples. And of course, around the country, around the world, it changes. We actually have students all over the world. So just be mindful of that. Ensure you are aware of your due dates and your time zones, because also the university internally operates on those time zones, as do faculty members. So just be mindful of that as you complete your assignments accordingly. Other items, another thing just to notice here, I'm clicking the left of the screen, this little icon here, the 3 lines. This icon kind of minimizes and maximizes your screen. It actually shows your dashboard. So for example, you can view your calendar, you can view the Learn Center, Writing Center, your course will appear here, your course will also be up here, and as will these drop-down menus I'm showing right now. So let's say you're wondering, so where is my course, ACE 100? Well, for today's demo, I'm actually going to review ACE 100 directly. All of you here, I understand, have been enrolled in an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree. So you're an undergraduate degree student. So all of you here will be taking ACE 100. So ACE 100 looks like this. I'm actually going to minimize the screen here for a moment. Maximize, excuse me. So I'm going to scroll down. As you can see here to the right, you have your syllabus. You have Grammarly, which is actually a writing platform. It's actually a plugin that you can plug into your Microsoft Office, which, by the way, you do receive as a CIU student. Many of you who are enrolled, all of you here, excuse me, will receive a university email, which comes along with Microsoft Office. Some of you may already have Microsoft Office, like maybe you use Microsoft Word or a PowerPoint, like I showed earlier, or also Microsoft Excel is another very popular, or actually an application you will use at CIU. So Grammarly is something, it's actually, think of it as a super enhanced word check, grammar check. It has vocabulary suggestions, detects plagiarism as you conduct research, and provides citation suggestions. So this tool we'll talk more about is also listed here in the course room. So the first thing you're going to do, before I scroll down and show you the course, the first thing that you have to review, and if you ever have taken a college course before, and if you haven't, that's okay. The term syllabus is basically the map to your course room. So you're going to click here to review the syllabus. It's going to open up in a Microsoft Word document, which is important. As I mentioned, you want to have Microsoft Word. You can download and print it out. And at ACE 100, your class stands for Accelerate, Connect, and Equip. You have the course information here, library help, which we'll talk more about, course description, instructional materials, course schedule. So we have here that it is, you see here that there's a percentage for each grade, amount of points. So if you scroll down, you'll see that some assignments are due by Wednesday. Some are due Monday, like your biography statement when you introduce yourself. And then if I scroll down, you'll see it changes. Certain assignments will be worth more points. Typically, written assignments and quizzes are worth more points than an introduction or a discussion question or a warm-up activity. And that may vary from course to course. Remember, this is the first class. An English class or a math class or a business class will be a little different. There will be the same similar due dates, but different assignments and expectations as well. So as I scroll down, you see the grading scale as well. So just be mindful that the syllabus really is a guide and map to your course room, especially if you're asking, what do I do next? When's my assignment due? What's the policies? Your syllabus will tell you almost all that information, especially about the assignments themselves and the grades. So you always have something to do while you're in class and a due date. You can work ahead as well, which I'll show you in a few moments. So that was the course syllabus. There's also, this is where you find the instructor information and a help forum. You can add a new discussion or review. The instructor will also announce themselves under instructor information. They will show their hours, their phone number, all that information listed here. Then you have tutor.com. Tutor.com is a really great, one of our newest resources. I'm actually going to open up a new window to show you. Actually, I'll show that in a different screen. So let me actually go here. So it should be, this is a demo version, so I'm going to actually go back and go to the Learn Center, to log back in, and it'll take you to this screen, tutor.com. It'll redirect you here. This is what tutor.com looks like. You can connect to a tutor, schedule a tutoring session, submit a paper for review, or take a practice quiz. This is a sample of what my file looks like. I actually have access to tutor.com as well. Currently, you have 12 hours each term to submit assignments for tutoring, or you can actually have a paper to review or work with an online tutor. There are different subjects listed here. You can even ask for help on Microsoft as well. A lot of students also, and this may not be something you use right away, but you can actually submit a paper for review as well. And you select Connect Now. And this is, and attach a file. So this is 24/7, except for I believe 4 days out of the whole year. I think it goes Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, got the 4th holiday, off the top of my head, maybe New Year's. There about, aside from those holidays, those big holidays, you will always have access to tutor.com. So if you ask for help late at night, you will be connected to a tutor. So if you need help and you're like, oh, there's no one there to help me, well, I don't know what to tend to, try tutor.com, especially when it comes to written assignments and papers. So that actually redirected you there. So I'm going to minimize that, go back to my original screen, because this link is in the resource center and in the course room moving forward. So you have a lot of great information right off the bat. So I'm going to scroll down and show you a couple of things. So first of all, earlier I maximized my course room, minimized it, excuse me. As you can see here, each week's topic, because each class is 6 weeks at CIU, each week's topic is listed here, as are your grades and the participants. So you can actually see everybody in the classroom, including your instructor. So I select week 1, what are my professional educational goals? I click that, I'm going to open up a new screen here. You have here your activities, your instructional materials, your syllabus quiz, your discussion questions, your week 1 assignment. So let's first go back to one of the first assignments, just to get your feet wet. You want to make sure that you, on the first day of class, introduce yourself. As you can see here, this particular assignment, you only receive credit if you post on the first day. So take a time to review this. It's pretty simple. You're going to introduce yourself, and one of the topics you're going to do when you introduce yourself is list 2 pieces of technology that you cannot live without. That's just a kind of a breaking the ice in the course room. And you add a new discussion here. This goes for all discussion questions. Which by the way, you can add your pictures. That's my picture for our Learn Center, for my Learn Center. And let's say, for example, you put subject. I were to put Eddie Hernandez. And then I would actually then type in here. And I believe you don't want to put it no more than 3 paragraphs, but really simple. I always tell students, don't overthink it. Just type in, answer the question and talk about yourself. Of course, in your other assignments, you're going to answer questions based on the readings in the materials. But just give an example. Think of it as your social media device. When you post online, it's open to everybody. Once you press submit, everybody can interact with each other and reply to each other under all the discussion questions in the course room and at CIU.
So I have a question really quick.
Sure.
Hi, this is Madeline, by the way. I wasn't able to introduce myself earlier because I had some background noise, but so this is something where all the students can connect and communicate on here as well. It's not just for your assignments.
That's right. That's correct. I would say if you're going to communicate about assignments, you may want to do it under the first forum, the help forum. There's a few forums. That's the first one if you need help or make an announcement. That's the one you probably want to do. Some forums are designated for assignments or like for certain questions. So like the help forum is the main one you may want to post about, and it's open to all the classes students.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any questions as well regarding the course room? All right, well, let's continue. So I have a few things to cover. So I talked about those assignments. I'm also going to review, just to give you an idea of week 1 assignment. All right, so this assignment here, I'm not going to read it word for word, but it's an idea of what to expect. Try to review it in materials thoroughly. So for example, this one says, your goal for the assignment is to download and complete the SWOT matrix at this link. And it'll ask you to utilize tutor.com as well. So actually, your first assignment, you're going to actually use tutor.com itself to learn about tutor.com, which is really good. So let me give you an example like what the assignment looks like. This is actually one of the assignments, once again, Microsoft Word, you'll be using here called the SWOT analysis worksheet. And you answer these questions. So you already got a sneak preview of your first assignment, which also includes tutor.com, because you'll also be answering questions about tutor.com. So that's just a sample of your course. I'm going to just give you an overview of your assignment. Let me go back to this. Let me go back to the home screen. So each of these tabs, links, and week correlate to each week. Again, you can see it's 6 weeks, each of the different topics. You click each one to go into that assignment week section. And you can work ahead, review beforehand, plan ahead. I would suggest you look at the courses in the syllabus beforehand to get an idea of what to expect. And that will be primarily from course to course. Some things will be a little different, like a math class will look different than this. It won't be, the topics won't be about resume or time management. There'll be, particular assignments and courses that will be specifically to that subject and look a little different. So I already went over the course room. I want to now take some time to review our resources. So I'm going to go over our math lab just very briefly. Okay, that's the math lab where you can actually ask a tutor for help. This is outside of tutor.com. There's also a writing center as well, where you can work with CIU tutors. There's also resources here regarding the APA format. And writing tutors listed here. These tutors are exclusively with CIU, and they'll respond within 24 to 48 hours. So this is just more, if you want more CIU personal touch, you can work with a tutor, and many of these tutors are also faculty members, different than tutor.com, but still very helpful. Undergraduate level, from time to time, maybe in your later courses, when you conduct more research, you'll utilize these services. But let's also go back in the drop-down menu for student resources. We have the Student Resource Center. Back in the Student Resource Center, there's actually a forum, an important forum here that's open to everybody. You have the CIU Student Handbook, the CIU book list. The book list is listed for students to, if they'd like to purchase a hardcover copy, they can look at the book list of each course room in advance. You can, and then you could do your own. Students then can, online, if they choose to, purchase a hardcover copy. And then that will lead me to the ebook, which I'll just discuss in a few moments. But many students use the ebook, which I'll show you in a moment. But if you want to ever purchase a hardcover copy, we provide you the information. And then if you like to independently find that copy, that's fine. Like Amazon, for example, a lot of students may do that. But the version you get online comes with being in the course room, and it's called VitalSource. Now, in the first class, you didn't see VitalSource. There's actually not a textbook in the first class, but in your other courses, you will have VitalSource. And it's compatible with almost all these, actually with all these data, all these browsers. We also have another plagiarism scanner called VeriCite and Grammarly. Now, Grammarly is really important because Grammarly in particular, you will require a access code. And the email that you get for Grammarly is a university email. So in order to create a Grammarly account, you have to input a code and you have to use a university email. So to confirm, if not, you'll be asked to pay for it. So as a CIU student, you already get Grammarly for free, basically. Just ensure that you follow the instructions provided and able to access that. So far, I know I went over a lot, and I know a lot of it will look a little different as we continue, but are there any questions so far? Are there any questions on what I reviewed? How's everybody doing?
Doing well, doing well.
Doing
Good.
pretty
I'm going
good.
to.
Just trying to take it all in.
Okay. All right. And then lastly, just a couple things. We have a student code of conduct. We have a late grading policy. So just be mindful of that. As a student, you're expected to submit assignments on time, of course, just like anywhere else. And you lose points for submitting it late. Here, there's some flexibility, but you don't receive full credit if you submit things late. And this changes. This varies from instructor to instructor and course to course. But typically, if you want to have a mindful of what our policy is, after 7 days, you receive a 10% reduction. Any assignment after 8 through 14 is 20%, which is already like 2 whole late penalties, 2 whole letter grades. And after 2 weeks in a 6-week course, your assignments are no longer accepted. And also discussion boards that are not considered weekly or participation are not accepted beyond the week they're active. So if discussion questions only count for the week that you have to do them. You can't do a discussion question in week 3 that was in week 2 or 1 and so forth. And if you're submitting things late, and it's almost been a week, still submit it. Don't forget it, because you're still going to receive credit, and every point counts. Maybe there's 1 week you submit it late, the rest you don't. That can count from an A to an A-. So be mindful of that, and communicate with your instructor. Communicate with your advisor too, because we can help you. If we don't know that you're submitting things late, or you're not letting the instructor know, they're going to grade accordingly and won't not know how to help you unless you reach out. Or if we do reach out, answer the phone or reply to our text or our email. Many instructors reach out accordingly. Lastly, a couple more items. We have the online library. Online library is listed here. And disregard, I actually had to log back in because after a few minutes, if you're not in a certain section, it'll flat log you out. This is what the online library looks like. A variety of databases here. So if you were to conduct research, this is the online library. Then you have technical support. And this link, I would suggest, is one of our last links of our tutorial. Why is it not working? Sorry about that. Let me actually go back. I have to log back in for a moment. Sorry about that. Okay, so I clicked technical support. Loading, it's loading. Huh. All right. Give it a little time. Let me actually log into it directly. Huh. All right. Could be not able to log in at the moment. I'm not sure why. Let me see. Sorry about that. I'll have to go back to that later as we present. Let's continue. It appears like we may just not be able to log on to technical support at this very moment. Sorry, looks like it's just at the moment not loading. So let's continue with the PowerPoint. We'll go back to that later. We have the Student Portal Administrative Headquarters. Just a recap where you can view degree audit, schedule, grades, account information, payment information, update your personal information, and request a student ID card. You have your Learn Center, Student Resource Center, Writing Center, Math Lab, Learn, and VeriCite Plagiarism Scanner. Moodle Content is just the name of the learning resource that we use. Then we have your, let's check in. So who is my advisor? I just want to kind of tell you who that is. So myself, Eduardo Hernandez, I'll be your advisor if your last name is A through K. And if your last name is L through Z, your advisor is Tina. Tina is our, one of the announcement, is our newest student services advisor. And I am also our student services department lead. How do I access my course? You can access your course through the student portal or going directly to the Learn Center. What assignment am I required to do on the first day? It's called the biography statement, when you introduce yourself. Before we continue, I'm sorry, I'm not going to show the technical support icon. Are there any questions? Do you have any? Are there any questions so far? We're a little over midway through the orientation. All right. Well, if there's still any questions, please let me know. Technology requirements. So computer and reliable internet connectivity, Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, recommended browsers, Google Chrome, Adobe Acrobat Reader, and as well. And then help desk is also, if you ever encounter any technical issues, you can contact the help desk. Does everybody here have a computer and internet access?
So we are actually getting a laptop tomorrow, I believe. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So.
No, that's perfect. Good. It's good to have a new laptop to get started before school.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any concern before they get started with, or anybody did not have a computer yet, or maybe have a computer but no internet access? Are there any questions regarding our technology requirements? All right, let's just be mindful of that. The reason I asked that is that, you know, when our program is 100% online, so you have to have a computer internet or you won't be able to do the class. So if you don't have that or will not have one reliably or borrow one or anything, then that becomes an issue, of course. You know, you can't go to school if you can't go to school. So please let me know. Please let your enrollment advisor know if you cannot log in particular around those resources, or if you lose your computer and internet. That's another issue as well. So be mindful of that, and please continue to keep us updated. If you encounter an issue with the computer beforehand, November 11th. Oh, Heather asked if you can use Microsoft Word or can we use Google Docs? That's a good question. So Google Docs have been accepted. I would always double check with the instructor before an assignment. I have seen students at times use Google Docs, but I know just also in my previous experience in my other degrees and with students, Microsoft Word is the preference. That's why we give it to you as well as a student. So Google Docs do come in handy, but I would always check with an instructor if that is acceptable. I understand sometimes it's actually not. So I would always check with your instructor. You're welcome. Good question, by the way. Course schedule and registration. So just a kind of reminder on this, classes are registered in advance upon enrollment. There are 8 terms course in a year, and every course is 6 weeks. All schedule changes must be done during week 1. For detailed information, always review the university catalog. So just a kind of what I've just mentioned is that every class you take here is 6 weeks. And please, if you have any questions regarding your schedule, contact your student services advisor. Attendance. So this is really important. So for many of you attending an online class for the first time, attendance is really critical because you're not walking into a classroom or handing in assignments. You're doing everything at your computer. And the way we review attendance, the way your instructors review attendance is by submitting assignments. So attendance includes doing an assignment, taking an exam, or posting in a forum. That's not, for example, logging your course and just reviewing the material. So let's say you download your syllabus. Let's say you go to tutoring. Let's say you go to the Learn Center. Awesome, that's great. But it's not actually an attendance. So the way it's reviewed, you're not going to a classroom, is by submitting assignments. And you can submit assignments any day during the week. So if you submit your assignments on Wednesday, and it's Friday, Wednesday is your last day of attendance. It's been 2 days since you've attended if you haven't done an assignment since Wednesday. And assignments are due Wednesday and Sunday, so within the week, you're already meeting requirements. If you're submitting on time, then you're meeting the minimum. Now, if you don't submit something for 7 days, unless you really, really did work ahead, then you'll get a phone call, an email from myself or the instructor or our department asking what we can do to help you. Or as a reminder, maybe you just missed it by a day, but we want to know, we want to help you. And if you feel like you're falling behind, we want to help you as well. And just one note, since you are all new students, if you don't attend the class and submit assignments the first week 1 from the November 11th, then you're canceled. So just be mindful of that. We want to ensure to help you. If you find yourself with some concerns that you aren't aware of, please call us. You don't want, if your intention is not drop a class, but you have the other issues, please talk to us. We can assist you and come up with a solution of support. So assignment deadlines, just kind of a refresher again. Assignment due dates are due by the end of each week and Wednesday, depending on your instructor and the discussion question. Remember to review your syllabus for the deadlines. Students are subject to be withdrawn after 14 days. As you saw earlier, after 14 days, assignments are not accepted. So you really are in a serious situation. And so after 14 days, you'll get reminders of being withdrawn. We don't want that to happen. So before it gets to that 14th day, or even weeks before, please let us know if there are concerns. If something happens and you can't finish a class or you need help, don't let yourself be dropped and impact your academic record. Talk to us. We can find the best solution for you depending on the circumstances. Talk to your instructor as well. I always ask students, okay, you're falling behind. What did your instructor say? I never followed up with the instructor. Instructor's probably been calling you too. So be mindful of that. Be aware that these classes 6 weeks and every day and every week counts. Always review your instructor policies, and we're here to help you. Review your syllabus. Remember, attendance is weekly. Write assignments in APA format. And contact your instructor and student services. We're available to help. All right. Let's check in, and we'll stop for some questions. What technology do I need? We require to have a computer with internet connectivity. Where can I find the list of my assignments? The syllabus, which outlines the assignments in a course. How long is each course? Each course is 6 weeks, a unit per week. Pretty simple, right? But so far, everybody, when we're almost done, are there any questions so far about our assignments or technology or any of our policies? How's everybody doing?
We're doing good. Just trying to suck it all up.
Yeah, and don't worry. You know, you may not. All of this is kind of just a recap, an overview. We've been here all night reviewing each section of our Learn Center, every assignment, every policy. But you know, as a student, you're going to be empowered to review all the information and learn it as we move forward. So I want to give you a great introduction, a visual of what to expect on Monday and for the rest of the class. All right. Is there any other questions? I hear some noise in the background.
Somebody doing dishes back there?
Sorry, it was me. I'm putting it back on mute. This is Shawana.
Hi, Shawana. Why are you so quiet? You have any questions so far?
No, because I'm trying to multitask. I'm trying to cook dinner and listen and write notes down. I'm trying to do all that. But I'm good.
Hey, you guys.
Thank you.
Jesse.
I'm putting you back on mute again. I knew
Okay.
it was Jesse. Hi, Jesse.
How we doing?
Jesse?
Good.
Hey, how we doing, guys? You guys, it's important to ask questions now because, you know, there's going to be a lot of students starting on Monday with a lot of questions. Student services is going to be here for you, but they're going to be swamped as well. So, you know, don't be shy. Ask questions now. Eddie's going to be most likely the person responding to you on Monday anyways. And if you have a question about it, most likely somebody else on this actual orientation has a question about it as well. So thank you all for joining and making a priority. We have a big group, which is good. That tells me that you guys are really serious about this and making it happen. So Eddie is definitely going to be the person that's going to be able to help you, you know, first day and last day. So he's going to be here for you for day one. So get used to his voice, and there's no such thing as a dumb question. So don't be scared to ask any questions, you guys, okay?
I take that as
You got it, man. Yes, sir.
All right, good. So excellent. Thank you, Jesse. And definitely, it's gonna next week. I know there may be little nerves sometimes. It's okay. Tina, myself, and the Student Service Department will be able to assist you, and your enrollment advisors. If you have any questions, still able to also answer some questions or refer you to the appropriate department or ourselves. We respond as soon as we can. We have a 24-hour response policy, but when we're here, and we'll talk more about that, but we're here, of course, when our hours of operation from 8 to 5, but I respond within hours. But Jesse's right, week one is an time when we, just like it is on the first day of class everywhere, everybody is in line maybe to ask questions at time, which is perfectly fine. So, thank you again for your patience in advance. There's no stupid questions, and we will address anything necessary. We'll take 5-10 minutes or even more. Want to talk to you as well and email you back, and shortly we'll go over other departments that can also assist you. But we're almost done here. Just a couple words of advice now in our final section. As an undergraduate student, one thing I find very important, it's not about just being online, is identifying a study space where you're productive, a place where you're free of distractions, where you can create it special, and a place you're comfortable but not too comfortable, because of course you want to be focused on your assignments. Also, use time wisely, plan ahead, and give yourself breaks. Find out what works best for you. Maybe you're a night owl, maybe you like working at night, maybe you prefer working in the morning, maybe you like to work, maybe you like to study during your work lunch, when you're at work at lunch, whatever the case may be, you commute, whatever. You got to find yourself the best way to manage your time. And I'll say this, that time management is one of the most important parts of going back to school. You already probably know that working, but you're now adding on an education and a responsibility as a student, and maybe you'll learn maybe it won't be easy. I can't say that I've ever started school in a class thinking, oh, this is easy, I'm just going to do whatever I can. No, it's going to take some time to adjust your schedule. Maybe studying at one place and at one time doesn't work. You'll try studying at a different time. Maybe your work schedule changes. you have to always think that things won't be exactly the same. It wasn't for me in school, and it wasn't for me at any point at a commitment as an education. But that's why we're here, and that's why you're empowered as a student to make these sacrifices and also enhance your life by earning a degree. If not, everybody would, but you've already done the commitment to start here and to improve your life. So I'm a little off topic, but I really do feel that a lot of times with schooling, it's not just submitting exams, it's about time management, which is why you're here and that you want to probably get a better job. But lastly, just again, resources and support. We already talked about Grammarly, the Writing Center, Tutor.com, Math Lab, Staff Directory. I referenced this earlier, just kind of a sample of just many of the departments you may have already communicated with. For example, our financial aid officer and director, Joanna and Rita, our registrar, Mark Wills, our account bursar, Chandra Austin, student accountant, Isaac Garcia, our help desk ticket, contact the enrollment department. And in particular, if you have questions about financial aid, many of you maybe are still working on that, but remember, always contact your financial aid department officer. They'll be able to actually access that information. The same goes regarding making payments. You want to access, you want to talk to the staff student accountant because they actually do have direct access to that information. Student services actually does not have access to that directly, neither does your admissions advisor. So just be mindful of that. With certain departments, you want to be familiar with that person and communicate with them directly. Leave them an email and a voicemail so they can follow up with you and answer that also within 24 hours. And lastly, I already talked about this earlier, Tutor.com. Again, that really is, I think, one of our best and newest resources. 24/7 online tutoring. You can see there's almost every subject. I think at CIU is in there. So there shouldn't be any student asking, well, I need help in how to write a paper, or I need help in this marking assignment. You have a free resource that's available wherever, whatever, and what time. So you can always go to somebody for help if you need academic help. And then lastly, just a kind of an extra thing I like to tell my students is that there's also many of our graduates study together. I see here on this call, we already have some people studying together. So which is good. That's actually, we find, one of the most helpful things of being online. Many of you may be independent working online, perfectly fine, you'll graduate too, but the experience of being somebody there with you can also be very helpful. You can share ideas, helps build accountability. I've had students who also maybe in the same program, but don't even live in the same city, and they know each other, and it's just helpful having somebody to talk to. So we really, and here at CIU, we want to help everybody earn their education online and have the opportunity to do so. I know we're starting on Monday. We also have a start date in January. So we're always looking to help everybody earn their degrees. You are here starting an undergraduate degree, but you may have colleagues who also want to enhance their career with a master's or a doctorate. So that many of those careers and opportunities are there here at CIU. And if they have any questions, they can contact our student service department and, of course, our enrollment department. We have many students who refer, and they're, of course, refer their family members, colleagues, and coworkers. Everybody joins and graduates together. So lastly, what are the 3 resources for academic support? We'll check in Math Lab, Writing Center, and Tutor.com. And we're always looking to enhance those resources. So there's always new ones coming up. What if I have questions regarding financial aid? Contact the financial aid department. And the reason I bring that up is that it can be really stressful if you're asking, like, where do I get my funds? What do I have to sign this document for financial aid? They're available to assist you. If you're calling other departments, that's fine, but they're going to direct you to financial aid. And I know that can be a topic that you want to be on top of. So just be mindful of that as you continue with your degree, so we can assist you as fast as we can. Now we're going to also just leave the remaining time. I think we're ending right on time. Open up for any questions. I think I'm going to kind of recap our attendees. I see here we had Andrea, Angelica, Brian. I see here, I believe, Madeline was speaking on behalf of Evan. I see we have an Evan on the line. Heather, Shaylee, and Nicholas Skaggs, and Shawana. Is there somebody that didn't introduce themselves? Anybody else that was just listening in, which is fine, but I want to make sure we take attendance today and acknowledge your presence. Anybody who did not say their name or never spoke? Okay, well that means we have our attendees for today. But please, no, I want to take this extra time for any questions tonight. It cannot just be about orientation, maybe about the program itself, whatever you have. Now's the time to ask questions before Monday. All right.
All right, Eddie, I think that we are good on this side. I got me and my wife double teaming it, so you know, we're both able to pick up information, and so I think we're pretty much good on this side, man. I appreciate you.
Excellent. We have one question. Thank you, Nicholas. So I think we had one question. Angelica says, I cannot see what courses I will be taking in the Learn Center. Angelica, well, one thing I want to ask you, and unfortunately I just can't answer your question just right away as we're in the presentation, but if you're enrolled, you can see them. If you're not yet enrolled, you wouldn't see the courses just yet in the Learn Center or in the portal.
I think maybe just onboarded. That need access at that point.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if you're enrolled, you should see your classes. Now, I will say that, or the syllabus. Well, if you're trying to access the Learn Center, that actually becomes operational on Monday. If you're enrolled, I know that not all students have access to your course yet. The student portal is accessible now before the 11th, and then the Learn Center usually actually launches Sunday night. Well, if you have any questions, Angelica, you can email myself, the Student Service Department, and we'll double check your account. But if you have been enrolled, you won't have access to that information. But the Learn Center and the course, I know that the course itself, ACE 100, isn't accessible today, Wednesday. I know it's the accessible Sunday night. So if you check in now, it's not there yet. So look out for that. Okay.
I'll get that for you tomorrow, Angelica. I'll get an answer for you tomorrow.
All right. So yeah, just wait a couple of days, and I think the ACE 100 should show up by the weekend. I usually at the end of week 6 you won't see that yet. It's Wednesday, which is fine. Are there any additional questions?
No, I think that's about it for us. We're gonna sign out. Wanted to thank you and thank Jesse for helping us get plugged in and getting us this far.
Yes. Yes, and we'll also send the recording out as well and a copy of his PowerPoint.
Awesome. We appreciate you big time.
All right, you're very welcome.
All right, you guys have a good night.
All right, so yeah, we're finishing on time. I think we maybe have time for one more question. Maybe you want to stay on the line?
Absolutely.
Oh, sure. Do you have a good question?
No, that was me.
Oh, okay. Well, if there are no additional questions, okay, thank you. All right, see some comments in the chat box.
Thank you. Thank you,
You're
guys.
welcome.
This is one I'm hanging up to. Thank you. Have a good evening, guys.
Have a good night, everybody. I'm sure it's probably late for all of you as well. But the offices will be closed shortly. I'll see everybody if any questions tomorrow, and of course in class on Monday. Have a great evening, everybody.
Bye, guys.